Hello and welcome to this review of 75 South American Blended Whiskey. This was introduced in 2006 and it is distilled by Sazerac. Distilled, blended, and bottled by Sazerac Company, the Sazerac Company, for the Albertsons grocery store chain, which includes a lot of stores that aren't called Albertsons, like Jewel Osco, Safeway, and a lot of other stuff. This is a dark whiskey. It's a deep amber chestnut. No colors added. They can add color to American whiskey, but it has to be disclosed on the label. There's no disclosure here. It says blended whiskey, 75 South, and it has a little label, this breakdown here. Blended whiskey. They don't give the ratio. Percent alcohol, 40%, 80 proof. Net content, 750 milliliters. Is 75 a clue? Is it 75-25 in the blend? 75% grain neutral spirits and 25% straight bourbon whiskey? This is interesting, I don't know. Or is it referring to Interstate 75 South, bound through Kentucky? We don't know. It says bottled by the Founders Company of Louisville, Kentucky. The blended whiskey was created, this blended whiskey was created from the finest ingredients. Our traditional process of compounding superior flavors is the pride of the South and promises to deliver a robust, rare, and exceptional experience. Okay, well, there it is. Do I expect a lot? Well, I mean, I paid $5.99 plus tax at Albertsons, so I don't expect too much, but maybe it'll be good. I don't know. Have I bought cheaper whiskeys than this? Yes, I bought Albertsons American Blended Whiskey for $4.99 plus tax. Now, it doesn't say American Blended Whiskey or Kentucky Blended Whiskey. It just says blended whiskey. And it gives you the bottling designation, Louisville, Kentucky. Okay, so could this be grain neutral spirits from Midwest Grain Products and straight bourbon from MGP or from Buffalo Trace, Barton, you know, the Sazerac people? This we do not know. We may never know. Okay. I know that Sazerac gets their grain neutral spirits from MGP because they told me on the tour last year. The tour guide said, yep, that's where we get our grain neutral spirits. I said, your gin, huh? She said, yeah, we get our gin from there. And then they fix it up according to what they want to do with it. They used to distill their own gin, but they said they don't anymore. And I was mentioning, just in passing, I said, oh yeah, like Crystal Palace. And then the tour guide turned back to me and she said, that's a huge brand around here. We sell a lot of Crystal Palace gin. It's popular in Louisiana. Okay, so a deep chestnut color here. Look, that's dark. That's some dark whiskey, huh? Okay, let's check it out. $5.99 whiskey from Albertsons. Where did I buy this? Albertsons of Hammond, Louisiana on US Highway 190 eastbound. And this is the first video review for this whiskey in the world. I did read a written review, and the guy said, yeah, I was expecting the worst. Like, I thought it was going to be horrendously bad. And he said, actually, it was pretty good, and he ended up giving it a 79 out of 100, believe it or not. High C. It's a lot of the neutral spirits. It's just like kind of vacant, column distilled corn liquor. Nothing bad or offensive or off-putting, but just dull. You can feel it burning in your nose. A little dried flowers, a little nectar, a little maybe dried, you know, that Mylar bag fruit cake fruit. But those are all very subtle aspects of this. Some wood, yep, some wood. and some vanilla, but it's all just a little, a little, a little, a little. Nice alcohol legs. Let's go with the taste. And I figure it's going to be light bodied. There is no age statement. So we know that it's aged, the straight whiskey in here is aged at least 4 years. So that's probably why it's so dark. And the grain neutral spirits has to be stored in wooden vessels. The U.S. government doesn't say age, it says stored. But if you're storing it in a wooden vessel over years, perhaps, to use it, it's aging, right? It's going to pick up some color, right? I would assume that. It's just a lot of neutrality here. This is like Switzerland. Or Sweden. You know what I mean? It's just like very light in the flavor. A lot of filler, if you want to call it that. The bulk is the filler. There's a periphery of what we would generally associate with whiskey, okay? Just think of bourbon whiskey, but in a very light sense, which might appeal to some people, because I know some people don't like bourbon because of the heavy corn and the heavy charred flavor. It doesn't appeal to them. It doesn't bother me. My problem with bourbon is that heavy, well, I don't like that heavy corn grits flavor. I've remarked how it, just like I'm drinking corn grits, the char is fine. That's what saves it for me. But when I drink on it too much, I start saying grits, 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 you know, polenta. I mean, this is mostly corn here, okay? It's just not bourbon corn liquor. But we won't get into all of that, what it has to do to be a bourbon. I looked up on some liquor store websites for this product, or like, man, it might have been Jewel Osco, yeah, I think. And then there was somewhere you could buy aftermarket stuff, and they were saying it was a bourbon whiskey. It is not a bourbon whiskey. It is a blended, American blended whiskey, okay? Which utilizes bourbon in the blend. It's light-bodied. It's not a long, lingering finish. It's not too remarkable. It's, but there's no off flavors or nastiness about it. I would say for $5.99, if you're not too picky and you just want something to mix, to make a mixed drink, or like I'm doing, drinking it neat and not expecting too much, you say, I just want the 40 proof. I mean, the 40% to 80 proof. Yeah, you might want to add an ice cube. It's fine. I mean, yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. So, would I recommend it? Yeah, I mean, for $5.99, even $6.99, if you saw it for that price, I'd go along with that. Above that, I would probably just pass on it, you know. But it was something to try. I saw the bottle; it looked nice, kind of a nice looking label. Doesn't scream private label. If you look at it carefully, it starts to look kind of a private label-ish, store brandish, but it's okay. So thanks for watching this video production, and let me know what you think about 75 South blended whiskey.